Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly, pronouns she, her, hers, and I am the owner and founder of Abundance Music Center. And today we are going to learn an emotional freedom technique that you can use for calming when you're upset or retelling a difficult event. So before we get into the technique, I hope you did watch the previous video about the options for using light touch, for tapping, or for kind of the more hidden, version. So you can just choose your version. If not, please go back and watch that video just so you have an idea of what version you might want to use. I'm going to demonstrate the tapping just to show you that aspect, but you really can choose. It's up to you, especially based on the setting that you're in. If you don't want someone to know that you're doing this technique, you can do the more camouflaged version of the technique as well. So things to keep in mind before we get started with this. The thing is that this is an eyes open technique, right? So we want to be back in the emotional state that you are doing this exercise for. So that means chances are your eyes weren't closed when you were doing this, whatever it was that triggered or kind of that's upsetting you. Chances are your eyes were open. So that's one reason for the eyes open. The other thing is tone of voice. So you want to capture the emotion in your tone of voice. You don't necessarily have to yell the statement that I'm going to introduce, but make sure there's potentially some inflection in your voice to kind of capture the emotional experience. That will make a little bit more sense as we continue on, and I'll try to highlight that as well. So let me give you a quick rundown of what's going to happen, just so you know what's going to happen, and then I'll walk you through it. So first, I'm going to have you tune into what's upsetting you, right? So it could be anything. If you want to practice with like using a chore, like a chore you hate, or if there's something that you're thinking like, hey, I'd like to tune into something that's upsetting me, whether it's anxiety for a race, whether it's being upset about something that just happened. Those are some things to get you started. So that's what I'm going to have you tune into for 5 seconds, no longer. Okay? And then we're going to do SUDS. So that's subjective units of distress scale. So from 1 to 10, 1 being like barely any distress at all the way to 10 being most distressful, most traumatic you can possibly think of. So when you're thinking of that, after you've engaged into that 5 seconds of tuning in, and by tuning in, I really mean feeling into that. Really get your body into it. You're not just thinking about it. You're like, okay, I really can feel that visceral experience. And you're going to rate your from 1 to 10, rate yourself on how distressful this event is, right? It could be a 7, it could be a 2. That's up to you to decide. Then we're going to do the acupressure points. So you again, this is where you'll get to choose, light touch, tapping, or that more kind of discreet. Someone, that you say people don't know that you're doing it. I'm just scratching my eye. I'm just scratching my collarbone. So that'll be where you get to choose. And we're going to do a series. So we're going to start with the gammy spot. And this is the piece I want to make sure to introduce to you now, so you know what that is. So the gammy spot is right here, like where that line in your palm comes down. That's the gammy spot. So that's kind of the pressure point you're looking for. The other piece I want to introduce is when I say under the armpit. That is, so I can adjust myself, that is for people who wear a bra. That's kind of the bra line. It's also kind of like about where your ribs, the middle-ish of your ribs. So you can see right there, right about there. That's where you're going for. So those are the places I kind of wanted to highlight as I go into explaining. The other thing, collarbone. So when I ask you to do the collarbone, it's not the center, it's one side or the other. And generally, if you're trying to be more discreet, try to stay on one side. It's not imperative or discouraged to cross the midline, but try to keep it maybe on one side if you're trying to be more discreet with it. So the order that we're going to do is the gamete spot. So you can do, if you're being more discreet, you're kind of holding your hand. And if you're do tapping, you're going to tap kind of like a karate chop, like that, or just light touch, kind of putting some pressure right there. Again, this is light. This is not like bam into yourself. So we're going to start with the gamete spot, then top of the head, under the eyebrow. Excuse me, inner eyebrow, not under. I'm jumping ahead to under the eye, under the nose, under the lip, collarbone, under the arm, gamete spot, and then last but not least, the heart hold, right? So you can put your hands over your heart. So you can kind of play with it. I tend to put my hands over the anatomical location of my heart, just because that's kind of where I connect. But you can kind of be more center if you want. So your choice. And then we're going to do this 3 times, a series of 3 times. I'll walk you through it. And then at the end, we're going to do 5 seconds. You're going to tune back into that feeling of whatever you chose at the beginning. And then you're going to rate again on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, that's the order of things. The other piece I want to introduce is now you're going to add as you're doing this, you're going to add a statement. You're going to say, I'm okay, even though, and you're going to insert the word that you're there. Like if it's, I'm okay, even though I hate this chore, or I'm okay, even though I'm anxious about this race or event. Okay, so you have to choose those words for yourself. I can't tell you what words to choose because I can't describe the feeling that you're going to have. So spend some quality time if you need to stop the video and think about the words you want to use. Be specific and be intentional with the words you want to use and stick it in there. So as we go through this, when we do it, I'll be saying it out loud. You can say it too. So I'm going to be quiet after even though, so you can insert your own words because you're going to be saying this out loud with me as well. So you'll be like, for example, tapping your collarbone and saying, I'm okay, even though. I'll be quiet for a moment and you insert your words there. All right, so I think that's kind of the rundown of what to expect today. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to use my fingers and do for 5. So for people who are visual, you get to see the countdown. For people who are auditory, you'll get to hear me count to 5 very, very softly, intentionally. I'll ask you to rate. We'll go through the series 3 times, the 5 more seconds, and then we'll rate again. And that will be the end of this technique for today. So find a nice place, nice comfortable place to be, just so you feel safe to do this technique. And then I'm going to start the countdown. Here we go. So think of that event or that feeling that you want to think of. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. All right. Now rate from 1 to 10 how that felt, how much distress or how much that impacted you. Just make a note of it, or you can make it down mentally. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with the gamete spot. You're going to repeat, I'm okay, even though. Okay. And this again, remember, put some inflection into your voice when you say even though, put the emphasis and whatever words you chose at the end, put the feeling behind it. So then top of the head. Repeat, I'm okay, even though. Inner eyebrow, I'm okay, even though. Under the eye, I'm okay, even though. Under the nose, I'm okay, even though. Under the lip, I'm okay, even though. Collarbone, I'm okay, even though. Under the armpit, under the arm, I'm okay, even though. Gamete spot, I'm okay, even though. Heart hold, I'm okay, even though. All right, round 1, round 2. Back to the gamete spot. I'm okay, even though. I'm okay, even though. Inner eyebrow, I'm okay, even though. Under the eye, I'm okay, even though. Under the nose, I'm okay, even though. Under the lip, I'm okay, even though. Collarbone, I'm okay, even though. Under the arm, I'm okay, even though. Yummy spot, I'm okay, even though. Heart hold, I'm okay, even though. That was round 2. Round 3, final round. Back to the yummy spot. I'm okay, even though. I'm okay, even though. Top of the head. I'm okay, even though on the inner eyebrow. Under the eye, I'm okay, even though. Under the mouth, I'm okay, even though. Under the lip, I'm okay, even though. Collarbone, I'm okay, even though. Under the arm, I'm okay, even though. Kidney spot, I'm okay, even though. And last but not least, heart hold, I'm okay, even though. All right, tune into that feeling again for 5 seconds. Here we go. I'll count it and use my fingers again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now do your rating scale from 1 to 10. See what shifted, see what's changed. It could be you jumped down 2 spaces, maybe you jumped down 5, maybe you jumped down 1, right? That's okay. No matter where and what shifted, just notice. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I hope that you have enjoyed it and can come back and use it. So feel free to use this as you see fit. But again, this is for educational purposes. Please seek support of a healthcare professional and mental health care professional before partaking. I want you to be safe and enjoy your journey towards mental health. So thank you so much for your time and attention. And I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.